What are they talking? What is written on? Okay, that is, I did not expect that one. Sobi happens to be Marissa's puppy, who I get to meet every few weeks when I meet Marissa. He just keeps hanging around. Sweet, sweet little boy. And of course, one of the reasons why Sweet Paws exists, one of the reasons that inspired you to build what you're building.
People are only falling more in love with their pets. So as long as that is the case, we're here to help. And there's so much more that we want to do. It's very exciting. I wondered if there was something wearable that you'd always have on hand to redirect the dog. And I couldn't find anything on the market that was like that. You could wear this bracelet at all times. And then if the dog is playful or nippy, you could remove it from your wrist and redirect the dog. It's fun to be a part of this business, I have to say.
Hello, everybody. I am so happy today. I'm so happy to have Marissa with me over here. I met Marissa probably last year. I did not know she was the founder of one of the largest silicone pet product brand in the country, probably the world. She is really passionate about what she does. Obviously, we got introduced through a mutual connection, and I was told that she is someone I need to speak to. And I did, and I've known her quite closely over the last year, what she has built and how things are progressing. She also got featured in some renowned shows like the NPR How I Build This. She had been featured in different places. I'm pretty sure I've seen Sweet Paws QVC ads quite a few times at this point. I'm so glad to have you, Marissa. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
I think she's a fantastic entrepreneur. You are also part of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 small businesses too, right? How's that experience been?
I have to say it's been phenomenal for so many reasons. I don't have a business background. I studied law, which is a great education, but it's missing a lot of the important pieces that you need in order to be a successful entrepreneur. So the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program is completely free of charge, and it's in connection with Babson College, which is one of the best business schools in the United States.
Right.
So it's kind of like oh, that's right, you went there, right? You're a proud alum. I forgot. So, so it's incredible to have access without even going through, directly, but to still have access to those resources. It's like a little mini MBA. So there's that whole part of it. Then the second part, I'd say there's three amazing things. One is the education. Two is the networking, because it's unusual for an entrepreneur to have access to other entrepreneurs on a regular basis. It's kind of like when you're an entrepreneur, you kind of work alone a lot of the time.
Mhm.
So that's just been just a huge benefit and just so enriching in so many ways. And then the third thing is just the resources of Goldman Sachs. They hold a summit every few years in Washington, D.C., and bring in the most mind-blowing speakers one after another for 2 days straight. And it's
Mhm.
just the most incredible education for not just entrepreneurs, but just for life skills, for anything. And
Mhm.
so I just feel so lucky to be a part of that program.
Yeah, that's so glad to hear. Now let's talk about the most important thing over here, Sobi. Sobi happens to be Marissa's puppy, who I get to meet every few weeks when I meet Marissa. He just keeps hanging around. Sweet, sweet little boy. And of course, one of the reasons why Sweet Paws exists, one of the reasons that inspired you to build what you're building. I'd love to know how you came up with the idea, what drove you, and some of the initial challenges that you faced as you kept growing the brand.
Sure. Um, we got Sobe very early in the pandemic. My kids wore me down after years of asking
Oh,
for a dog. Literally the day school shut down, which for us, we were one of the first in the country for school to shut down because we were adjacent to New Rochelle, which was ground zero for COVID in the US. So our school shut down first. I think we found out on a Friday that there'd be no school for the next 2 weeks. And then by Saturday, the next day, we had a new puppy. Um, so she was really wonderful in every single way, except for she was very nippy as a puppy. And that was kind of scary. I had an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old at the time, and we were in lockdown, so we couldn't leave the house. We're kind of trapped with this little dog who was this big, but she had the sharpest teeth. And if she came and was biting at your ankles or your wrist, it was really uncomfortable. And it was scary for my daughter to be left alone in a room with her. Um, so I consulted a dog trainer, and they recommended always having a chew toy handy. So I said, okay. So we got some chew toys, and I realized it was much easier said than done because a chew toy wouldn't necessarily be in the bathroom with you or in the kitchen if you're trying to keep a tidy house in lockdown, like you have them all in a basket, and that's
Yeah.
usually not where the dog finds you. So I wondered if there was something wearable that you'd always have on hand to redirect the dog. And I couldn't find anything on the market that was like that. So I decided to try to create something that would work for my daughter. And I came up with this teething bracelet similar to what sometimes moms will use for their babies, for human
Oh.
babies,
Hmm.
where you could wear this bracelet at all times. And then if the dog is playful or nippy, you could remove it from your wrist and redirect the dog so that they have something else to chew on besides you.
Hmm.
Um, and so it just so happened that I pitched it to Chewy and they had nothing like it. And they took a chance on us and ordered a bunch of them because everybody was getting pandemic puppies by that point. And from there we were off to the races. We developed a number of other iterations of the wearable teether, which really is a solution that works for a lot of people with this nipping issue. And then decided to stick with silicone and inspired by Sobe and all of her quirks, and she's very rambunctious and she I don't want to say troublemaker, but she keeps us on our toes. Um, I had to solve a lot of other problems, and we developed products to do that as well.
And I'm pretty sure you're not the first person to think of something like this. And I know for a fact that there are a lot of knockoff products, a lot of low value, low quality products that are available, the teethers specifically, online in stores and everywhere. What is it that really drove you to go headfirst into this? What is it that drove you to kind of reach out to Chewy, put yourself out there, and take a significant amount of risk during the pandemic to build something like this? Where it's it's not a tech product. It's on the outside it may seem like a simple product, but obviously it's now we know it solves a very real problem, and customers are willing to buy and retain this product for a long period of time. So, what is it that drove you in that initial phase? Did you get support from your family? Is it something that you felt within that, no, this is definitely going to work out, or was there anything else involved?
I think for me, it was my intuition recognizing that there was not a lot available in the pet space that was made out of healthy materials. And I think because with my own two kids, whenever I could afford it, I would always try to buy products of the best materials, non-toxic, healthy materials. I tried to avoid plastic with them, with their toys. I tried to choose wood whenever I could. We're vegetarians in my family, so I'm always conscientious about whenever I could afford to buy organic, I try to choose that. So I noticed that for pets, a lot of the products that I was buying for my dogs, it was all that was available, were made out of plastic or nylon. There's this whole, there's a brand that I won't mention the name, but their whole it's in the brand name, nylon, essentially. And a lot of those products would kind of disintegrate as she used them. They would crumble almost on the edges. And I found out from Sobe's vet that actually, it's almost like microplastics is kind of what it
Oh.
is. And it gets into the dog's intestines and it could cause diverticulitis, where it creates pockets in the intestines that sometimes require surgery. Um, and when I developed my product out of silicone, what I came to appreciate about silicone is not only is it beautiful and smooth, and you could do it in any color, but it's completely non-toxic. It's dishwasher safe. It's free of lead, free of phthalates, free of BPA. It's one of the healthiest materials, which is why it's used in surgery and also baby products. And our products are actually made in a baby factory. Um,
Hmm.
and so a lot of the items that I was buying in plastic, I realized could also be made out of silicone. And there are a lot of products not even available in plastic that just I felt should exist to help smooth friction in the daily routine and just make life more enjoyable with your pet. So that's really what we aim to do, is to amplify the joy of pet care with well-designed, beautiful products that are affordable and easy to clean and easy to use.
Nice. When I first looked into the brand, when I went to the website, I think three things stuck out to me quite a bit about specifically about the brand. One is that it's stylish. Second, it's safe, and third is that sustainable. It's three S's. It
You
kind of
got it.
popped out in the messaging, in the images, even just looking at the product. It just seems so. It hits you like it's something that I can trust my pets with, and obviously so many people have. Was that a conscious decision early on when you branded, or was it a result of a lot of trial and errors along the way?
I think it was kind of a happy accident. Because those values were important to me, I wouldn't say it was fully accidental, but what I didn't realize is how big of a trend, not even a trend, a movement it would be. Since we got Sobe early March 2020, I didn't know that that was just the beginning of this whole phase of pandemic puppies where so many people would do what we did and welcome a dog into their family or a cat. And then, really, because people were spending so much more time with their pets, they came to care for them. I don't want to say more than people did in the past, but people definitely had more time to spend with their pets. And I think that lent itself to treating them better. And as a result, there's definitely been a movement in the pet industry towards, what they call the humanization of pets, where we see our pets as
Hmm.
extensions of our family. And as a result, we're looking more carefully at the ingredients in their food. We're looking more carefully at whether they should have fresh food versus kibble. And, a lot of people will splurge for their pet, almost pay more than they will for their own food so that their pet could have the most wholesome, fresh food. And the same thing's happening with the ingredients and the products that we use for our pets. And I think people are equally concerned, like I was with my own kids. I see my dog as another kid almost. I want her to have healthy teethers in her mouth, not ones that are filled with chemical flavoring agents like fake peanut butter. And I don't want her to have like plastic that disintegrates into her intestines. So I think maybe I was a little early in that movement just because we got my dog so early, but it naturally, I think, ran its course alongside this major movement in the pet industry.
I think there is, or there was definitely a wave that was there in the, let's call it humanization or premiumization of pet care products when it came to food or accessories or toys or anything else that goes along with it. So just to give a quip, I'm originally from India. I moved to the US around 6 years ago. The first thing when I came to the US that I noticed was I went into a Walmart. And, at that time, there was no Walmart in India. It was so massive. It was huge. I mean, it's like a goddamn warehouse. In India, you don't usually see such, at that time at least, you didn't have such large shopping. It looked like a mall to me when I entered Walmart. And the other thing that surprised me, I think I saw 4 aisles just with pet related products. You don't have pet products in a regular supermarket in India. That's just not a thing. You have specialized stores that are separate. So I was just fascinated to see these massive bags of dog food, all these different accessories, medicines, playthings, play toys. It just fascinated me. And when we started working, I really saw the point that you said, that people really consider the pets to be a part of their family, in some cases even more even more than their own kids in many situations. It's just fascinating, and I'm so glad to see that you are in the forefront of the safe and sustainable movement when it comes to pet care, which I think was one of the reasons why you were one of the featured entrepreneurs in Walmart's open call, which I know for a fact is almost, it's very hard to get into. It takes decades from my understanding. It takes a lot of things that need to happen. But how was that experience? And what would your advice be for other entrepreneurs who wish to be in the same position that you are?
That experience honestly was like an out of body experience. Thank God I have the pictures to prove I was there because I honestly can't believe any of it happened. I did apply the year before and was not chosen. And then this year we applied with a different product. And so, just for a little bit of background, Open Call is Walmart's event that they host every year in Bentonville, Arkansas, where they're headquartered. And actually, they just built a whole beautiful campus. It's brand new. This is the first time it was held at this beautiful state-of-the-art campus, which looks like a college campus. Honestly, it was mind-blowing. But they have an over, I believe, $650 billion initiative, billion with a B, to support products made in the US. So if you're an entrepreneur with a product made in the US, you could apply. And then if you make it through the initial screening process, and you're chosen, then you could go to Bentonville, Arkansas. For us, it was October 7th and 8th. And you meet with a buying team and then you pitch your product to them, and then they decide on the spot whether or not to bring your product into Walmart, Walmart being the biggest retailer in the world. And so it's either a yes or a no. And if it's a yes, they give you what's called a golden ticket. And it's very Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like exciting. And,
Yeah.
and and they play all this music, and you like walk down the hall, and everyone's cheering for you.
Whoa.
So my business partner Jess and I, we presented to actually three different categories.
Hmm.
And I believe we had a record because we got golden tickets in all three. So
Wow.
we had just the most exciting time in Bentonville, and they welcomed us with open arms and could not have been more supportive of us. And I think it just shows that people really are looking for pet parent products. There's a need in the market to recognize the pet parent in the marketplace, and it's a whole identity that's been pretty much overlooked. People are, for the most part, making do with human products for greeting cards and for party packs, and those were some of the things we were pitching. Crossing out Happy Mother's Day or like putting in Happy Dog Mom's Day or whatever. We're trying to make products specifically for that identity so that pet parents feel seen. Not every pet parent even has human children. So that for them, it's really important to be recognized for who they are and the way their family looks, and that's what we're really excited to design products around.
Nice. Based on your experience, I mean, if the products are available in store, but specifically for e-commerce, what has been your learnings so far? Because we sell the products on Shopify, we're present on Amazon, Walmart, and so on. Like, what are some of the learnings that you've learned along the way?
I think I will have to toot your own horn, Akil, because I have had a lot of experience with different managers for Amazon. And for those who are listening, hopefully you realize that Akil is a very astute Amazon account manager as well. And I have not seen success equally with all of them. So I think it's good to, you can't be an expert in everything. So it's important to identify who can help you because of their own expertise and who could fill in the gaps where you're not knowledgeable. So I've definitely seen more success on Amazon with you than with other companies, and it's really encouraging. Like the trend is definitely going up, so that's really exciting. In terms of my experience outside of Amazon, which Amazon is its whole other podcast probably because it's so complex, and I will never
Yeah.
be an expert at it.
Yeah.
That's why I've outsourced.
Mhm.
Um, Shopify, I think, is kind of a good. Um, Almost like a good catalog for my business. It's not my main source of revenue, but sweetpawspup.com, it shows the products, it shows our story, it gives you an overview. Our focus really has been on mass retail. And so I would say our Target relationship has been really effective. At Target.com, we loaded over 30 SKUs last fall, and that's been really exciting to see the traction there. And I think that's a perfect partner for us because their customers appreciate good design and appreciate healthy products. And so we're very well aligned on those fronts. And in some of our other online experience, QVC was exciting. I think otherwise we're pretty much, I mean, Chewy is our main partner. So that from the start has been, like I mentioned, they took a chance on us with the teether, and then they've onboarded all of our products since. So that's been a really healthy, happy relationship. But we are trying to move into brick and mortar, and we're now early this year, we just actually shipped 8 pallets last week of gloves to PetSmart. We're going to be in all
Wow.
PetSmart locations in the US and in Canada,
Wow.
as well as Petco. Our greeting cards are going to all Petco locations early this year, starting, I think, with they'll be there right after Valentine's Day, I believe. And so we're thrilled about that as well.
Yeah, I'm so glad for your kind words and that you liked working with us and you trusted us with the products that in an early stage, like you said, Amazon is hard to deal with. It's a beast, but if you get things right and if you work for hard enough and long enough, I think things work out well. And one thing that I do like working about you, and I think what makes you a good leader is that you are open to new ideas. You are able to understand the data that comes out of the different aspects, especially Amazon. So I think I remember one example where we had like a healthy discussion of whether we should slightly tweak a product image to see if it works out or not. In most cases, when founders are very passionate about their brand, they are usually very reluctant to try out different things because many people have a sense that, I know this, I am my own customer, so I really want this. It's very hard to kind of even test out things, but I think you're pretty open to it, and that's one of the reasons why we have been able to climb the ladder slowly and steadily, so to speak. I think that's one of the other reasons why you were able to launch all these different adjacent products, greeting cards. I mean, who would have thunk that was one of the things that would have been launched in the pet care space. So I think that what makes you a really good founder. And again, thanks for trusting us along the way. Now, looking into the future, what can we look ahead? You mentioned Target, Walmart's already there, Amazon's doing good, website's doing good. Canada expansion, I think, is something new that you mentioned. What's next? What can we expect from you?
Well, I think I mentioned the greeting cards and party packs. I think that these lifestyle products are probably going to be our focus for this calendar year, 2026, because, for example, in the pet condolence category, we're hoping to lead the way with our sympathy collection, which is with a paw in the middle, sympathy. Um,
Oh, okay.
we we noticed that losing a pet is a special kind of heartbreak, and there are a lot of generic cards on the market that a lot of times don't hit the right note. They're not modern, they're not fresh. A lot of times it's a rainbow or a paw print, and it's really just not of the times. So we're really excited to create a whole new category so that when families are struggling with this type of loss, other friends and family have a really appropriate, modern, fresh way to express their condolences. Um, so I think our passion for that is going to push that product, hopefully, along with our other, like, just we have some really funny cards, some cheeky cards, but basically it's just like we see that the greeting card space for pets is in need of a makeover, and we're excited to be. We've already launched our cards on Chewy, but we're excited to bring that to other retailers, like I mentioned, Petco and hopefully PetSmart sometime soon. So that's going to be a focus, and then the party packs is just so much fun to work on. And just to give you like context, basically it's for people who want to have a puppy shower or
Oh.
or a bachelorette party, but their dog is their passion. It's
Huh.
everything you need to have a party in one bag for under $20. It's like eight plates, eight napkins, a party banner, and a cake topper. So it's like an
Oh.
instant party in a bag, and they're really fun. And Jess designed these all to be like just really fresh and modern. Those are available on Chewy now, but we're bringing those now to other retailers. And Walmart was so excited about it that they say, and we'll see, but they're going to put a whole section in their store for these party packs and the greeting cards, and basically a destination for pet celebration.
Good Lord. That's that's like you said, it's a whole lifestyle product line. That's amazing. What's it called? Is it body pack? Like what's the
Yes, so the party packs are called potty packs,
Oh, yes. Look
but
at that.
the collaboration is Sweet Paws by Five Dot Post, and we're going into the fashion department at Walmart with tote bags for modern pet parents, and then also the automotive department because we're revamping the traditional car magnet and we're making it more fun, like proud parent of a goodest girl or a bestest boy. Like why can't pet parents have fun too and show their pride?
Yep, yep. Amongst all the products that are currently available, which one's your favorite? Which one has a special place in your heart?
Um, I think my favorite is probably our bag opener, which is attaches to the leash. And you know about this product, so we sell it on Amazon,
Hmm.
but it opens the dog waste bag instantly. I could show you. But
Hmm.
the reason I'm really passionate about this is because I invented it to solve a real problem, just like my other things. But in this case, I struggle with this problem twice a day with my dog Sobe. We walk her twice a day and we have to open the bag. And I don't have strong fingerprints, so it just opens the bag on the
Oh,
very first try. I know it's a little bit blurry on the screen, but
got it.
um, so now I don't have to lick my fingers anymore to do that, and which I think is really unsanitary. But also, I've gotten so much feedback from the elderly in particular, and from people with dexterity issues that have said that this product has changed their life at the grocery store, um, that they've struggled, or even at home with their trash bags, that they've struggled so much, and now they're so that
Mhm.
the so quiet, quiet. So
No,
I've gotten
I,
a lot
I
of
wanted
feedback.
I wanted Sobi in the podcast, but you came in. I don't know why, so it's fine.
She interrupts every meeting. It's part of her charm.
Uh,
But yeah, so I've gotten a lot of feedback from people with dexterity issues or the elderly, just saying how it's changed their life and made their day so much easier, and that's really gratifying to me because it solves my problem, but also it really does help other people too. And so that just I'm most excited about that.
I'm kind of surprised to hear that. It's probably, yeah, it obviously does really well. It helps a lot of people, and I think since you invented it, I think it has a special place in your heart, no?
Yeah, I mean it's fun to see It's at the Container Store, which is one of my favorite stores. Like it's really neat to walk into one of your favorite stores and see your product on the shelf and to see that they're not all there, that people are actually buying them is really cool.
Nice. And we because we are present everywhere, you constantly get feedback from customers. Are there any specific feedback that you remember that you think was strange or weird, something that stood out to you, which made you think like, what are they talking about?
Honestly, all the time. The reviews are really a whole other podcast as well. One person took our chunky teether, which is made for dogs, and it says on the package, chunky teether for dogs or for puppies. And she bought it for her cat. And then she complained in the review that it was too heavy for her cat, and her cat wasn't interested. And she
Well,
said, I know it's a dog, I know it's a product made for dogs, but I thought my cat would like it. And so that's just one example. But yeah, I've had a lot of those funny reviews where you're just like, okay, great. Thanks.
what are they talking about? Is written on. Okay. Well, that is, I did not expect that one.
Yeah, there have been a lot like that. And it brings down your average. And you're kind of like, thanks.
And when you're a small business, when you're in a space that is extremely competitive, people don't realize the impact that they're on. I wouldn't call it foolishness, but obvious non-conformity has in when they give feedback, because it's not easy being a founder. You get feedback all the time. People must be like, hey, why don't you do this, or why don't you change this, or why don't you put out a new color, or why don't you make it bigger or smaller or whatever. I'm sure you get bombarded with so much feedback from your customers and from anywhere else, and it really does affect a founder, because you're passionate about it, you invented it, you're supposed to help people, but it's a unique place. But I'm glad that none of that has stopped you, none of that has stopped us, and Sweet Paws, and I'm so glad that things are going well, and 2026 seems like a lot more exciting things coming up.
Yes, I think people are only falling more in love with their pets. So as long as that is the case, we're here to help. And there's so much more that we want to do. It's very exciting. It's fun. It's fun to be a part of this business, I have to say.
Yeah. And next time when you design packaging, make sure, it's sure no cats, not for cats, not for snakes, not for, I don't know what are the other pets. Not,
Aardvarks.
not for babies, please, for the love of God. You should definitely put that. But yeah, I'm glad. Thank you so much for taking the time, Marissa. I hope we can connect again next year to discuss, being the top seller on Walmart probably, and being in all the stores in the world. I don't know what's going to happen, but it does seem like that. And it does seem like you've built something wonderful. I do believe that if you hadn't built something like this, there would still be a huge gap in the market that is filled by substandard product that do not solve any problems. Being a business owner, being an entrepreneur is hard, but I think you have navigated it pretty well, especially in a space that is extremely competitive, especially in a space that people are really, really passionate about as well. So thank you so much for everything that you do, and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me. It was a real pleasure. Thank you, Akil.